Oh, thanks. Can I have all the girls here? Well, except for that ugly fat one over there. At the group date hosted by my classmate John, he acted very arrogantly. Well, that's to be expected. After all, he's as handsome as a model and an elite doctor. On the other hand, I'm a male nurse. Male nurses are often told by society, "Why are you a nurse even though you're a man?" and are seen as failures who couldn't become doctors, which is painful. Being a nurse is a respectable job, and I think it's fine for men to do it, but for some reason there is prejudice. My name is Steve, a 30-year-old man. I usually work as a nurse in a psychiatric ward. In psychiatric wards, there are sometimes patients who become violent due to their symptoms, so there are many male nurses to calm them down. If they are women, they can be overpowered and injured, so men are valued. Psychiatric wards used to have a dark image, but that's not the case now. The day room is open and bright, and the patient rooms are clean. And when I see patients chatting happily, I feel glad thinking that their symptoms might be improving a bit. As for whether it's a life-threatening illness or not, well, there are cases where it is life-threatening, but it's not like something will happen immediately, and there isn't that much of a sense of doom. Everyone seems to think patients are scary, and society seems to discriminate, but in today's world, anyone could become depressed. My motivation for becoming a nurse was my mother. My mother was also a psychiatric nurse and had a very passionate belief in psychiatric care. She said she was happy when very sick patients gradually got better, were discharged, and occasionally came to the outpatient clinic with a smile. So I also wanted to become a nurse and support such people. When I was in high school, I worked hard studying to enter the nursing department. I was originally not very good at studying, and among the subjects, my grades in science were dismal, so I was trying to somehow cram biology and such into my head. But my grades wouldn't improve much. I don't know if it was inefficiency or lack of skill, but my test scores just wouldn't go up. The one who was watching from the side and laughing was my classmate John. He was very smart and got near perfect scores in both humanities and science subjects. John was told by the teachers that he could aim for a top university if he kept it up, and he bragged about it. And it seems John decided to apply to the School of Medicine. I was applying to the nursing school, but John, who knew that, made fun of me even more. "You're applying to nursing school? That's lame. A man wanting to be a nurse is so pathetic. Nursing is a woman's job. A male nurse is rock bottom and just a failure who couldn't become a doctor, so it's embarrassing. There's nothing wrong with a man becoming a nurse. There's no law saying men can't do it. Why are you saying that? 'Cause it really is lame. Even if a man becomes a nurse, no one will take him seriously, and he won't be able to get married in the future. Well, I'm gonna become an elite doctor and be even more popular with girls. Oh, I'm already super popular, so if I get any more popular it'll be a big problem. I'm just too handsome and popular as it is. I don't particularly want to become a nurse to be popular, and I don't care about that. And I wouldn't want a woman who judges based on occupation anyway. What are you talking tough for? You're not in the position to be picky. You're in the position to grovel to girls and beg them to date you. Geez, you just don't get it. I don't want to date someone so badly that I'd grovel. I'm gonna do my own thing." "Oh, okay. Well, do what you want. But let me tell you, even if you get into nursing school, never say you're going to medical school. Medical school is mainly focused on becoming a doctor, so nursing is just an afterthought. If anyone asks, make sure to say you're going to nursing school." Yeah, I got it. What an annoying guy. I will do what I want. I thought, is medical school really that great? I mean, we haven't even taken the entrance exams yet, and he hasn't been accepted, so why is he saying this? Well, John is smart and aiming for medical school, so I figured he's just confident he'll get in. And then the entrance exams were over, and sure enough, John dominated, getting into all the universities he applied to. Among them, he decided to proceed to the school which is considered as feeder schools to medical school. On the other hand, I got into the College of Nursing in my home state, because I failed to get into the nursing program at a prestigious university. Well, you could say academic credentials don't matter that much for becoming a nurse. Frankly, there are multiple pathways to becoming a nurse. You could go to an associate degree in nursing programs offered by community colleges or technical schools, then pass the NCLEX RN to become licensed as a registered nurse. However, I wanted to thoroughly study nursing, so I chose to attend a 4-year nursing program. Even if it's a not-so-prestigious university, I think there's a lot to learn. To be honest, I wanted to go to the nursing department of a high-rated university too, but it can't be helped that I failed with my not-so-good brains. I felt bad about paying the high tuition for such a university, but I resolved to pay them back little by little after getting in. And so I entered university and started studying nursing. The nursing program classes were really tough, with a mountain of things to memorize. If I struggled this much, I felt like I wouldn't make it to NCLEX RN, the nursing exam in my 4th year. Before that there's hospital training, but I wondered if I could really make it there without any trouble. The amount of assignments was tremendous, and even studying until the middle of the night I couldn't finish, so I sometimes pulled all-nighters. Many people got tired of this kind of student life, so I saw several students quit midway. Even if it's a bottom-tier university, it seems like such a waste to quit university after managing to get in. I somehow desperately kept up and participated in the hospital training too. The rumors about getting harassed by scary senior nurses was true, and I got scolded from the first day for not greeting properly. And they said my report writing was unclear and made me rewrite it many times. After getting worn out and exhausted coming home, there was studying for the NCLEX RN. The passing rate exceeds 80% every year, so it seems easy, but that's because nursing students study desperately, not because the content is easy. In any case, memorization is key, and I, being bad at memorizing, was groaning at my desk. And on the day of the exam results announcement, I was nervous. Looking at the notice, it clearly said I passed, so I was so happy I could jump for joy thinking my hard work paid off. Now I can become a nurse too. I resolved to become a nurse who can support mentally ill people like my mother, and decided to work at a psychiatric hospital. I was assigned to the closed ward, but working in psychiatry was even tougher than I imagined after all. Some patients' speech doesn't make sense due to their illness, and some get irritated and take it out on others. But even they should be calm deep down. I figured this is all because of the illness, and decided to interact with them objectively. But calmly listening to them, the patients gradually calm down too, and they smile saying they'll work hard at treatment to be discharged soon. I might be working hard to see smiles like this. If a patient even just smiles at me a little, that alone is plenty. This job is certainly tough, but I felt it was rewarding after all. When I was busy with work every day, I got a chat message from an unregistered number. Looking closely, I realized it was my high school classmate John. He must have asked someone for my contact info. I felt a bit unpleasant thinking why they'd share it without permission. Is it okay to just share someone's contact info? Hey, we're having a group date, but we don't have enough guys, so could you come too? I'm inviting cute girls. Oh, but I've never been to a group date and don't know what to do. Well, you just need to be there. Don't you want to talk to cute girls too? They're all totally cute. I think you'll like them. Look forward to it. It's next Saturday at 7 p.m. I'll be waiting at the Times Square. Don't be late. Got it. I'm off that day, so I'll come. I didn't really want to go, but I thought maybe I'd have a chance since I don't have a girlfriend, so I decided to go. I don't want to see John, but I do want to meet cute girls. And I thought maybe I'd have a fateful encounter there. So on Saturday, I dressed up and went to Times Square. There were already 4 girls, John, and another guy there, but apparently one more girl was coming. In other words, this group date would be 5 girls and 5 boys. The other girl was apparently a bit late due to traffic, and told John she wanted us to go ahead to the bar. The reservation time was approaching, so we headed to the restaurant without waiting for that girl. The luxury tavern felt a bit out of my league. Indeed, looking at the menu, unlike regular pubs, the price per dish was high. A salad cost $30 per serving. That's nearly double a regular pub's, so the bill is scary. The guys will probably pay more and the girls less in the end, so I braced myself. Then, without waiting for the last girl, we ordered drinks. John said let's introduce ourselves first, and that he'd go clockwise starting with himself. I'm John. a doctor currently working at the Department of Cardiovascular Surgery at City General Hospital. Every day is challenging, but I'm eager to take on even more complex surgeries soon. I graduated from the prestigious Princeton University. My annual income is $500,000, and I drive a Mercedes G-Class, which suits my passion for the outdoors. He's just bragging, but the girls were saying stuff like amazing and so cool. I don't find it amusing at all. And the other three guys' jobs were foreign capital consultant, trading company employee, and company owner. John told me, the only one left, to hurry up and introduce myself. So I introduced myself stammering. I'm Steve. I'm a nurse working in psychiatry. My hobbies are growing cacti and reading comics. And, my favorite food is McDonald's. Then the other guys started saying yo, total beak and so gloomy. The girls who heard that were cracking up laughing. It was a huge hit. I don't know what part of that was so funny. Was it that amusing? A guy being a nurse is unbelievable. It's just 'cause you couldn't become a doctor. And growing cacti. Way too gloomy. Quit reading comics too at your age. It's embarrassing. And your favorite food is McDonald's. So plebeian. Us high-class men don't eat crap like that. Truly bottom tier. I bet your favorite McDonald's food is cheeseburger. Hilarious. John was clapping and laughing, and the prettiest girl there, Madison, burst out laughing. Then Madison said this to me. I came here 'cause I heard the guys here were high level, but there's one misfit loser here. Us girls are of a certain status too, so this is disappointing. Well, not like I'd pay attention to you anyway, so whatever. I know, right? Sorry for inviting this guy. To be honest, I only invited him to even out the numbers. Jeez, you're too honest, John. But well, whatever. Let's pair this guy with the last girl coming. As they were talking about that, one girl entered the restaurant. She was walking swaying side to side like a cow, to the point you could almost hear sound effects like thump thump. I'm late. I got caught up in a traffic jam. Sorry. Well, she's quite big. At a glance, her body mass index seems over 35. No, maybe 40. In any case, her weight seems around 180 to 200 pounds. And her face is quite ugly. Her face is buried in fat. Her eyes are like lines. And maybe because she ran here, she was sweating. Her bangs plastered to her forehead. Breathing heavily. Can I order a drink too? I'm so parched from running. Oh, sure. But is a glass enough? With that body, you'd need a barrel to be satisfied, right? Oh, the barrel is your body type. Ahaha, you've got a plump figure after all. Ahaha. Oh, stop. That's hilarious. How can you say something so mean? Poor thing. John and Madison said something really rude, so that girl looked crestfallen. There's no need to go that far. What did she even do? I don't particularly like this girl, but I thought treating her like this was the worst. And while that girl was drinking beer, John talked to me. Hey, I went out of my way to set up this group blind date for you, so be grateful. I'm holding this for you who doesn't usually talk to girls. Oh, thanks. Oh, can I have all the girls here? Well, except that ugly fatty. All right, let's play truth or dare. Yay. Sounds fun. This is kinda exciting. Tee-hee. Oh, yeah. That fatty smiled at me, and I thought it. Then we wrote numbers, separated by gender. I got 1, and that fatty got 4. Then boy #1 and girl #4. Exchange contact info. Sorry, you don't want to exchange info with someone like me, right? No, that's not. Honestly, I didn't want to exchange contact info with that ugly fatty, but I couldn't disobey the order, so I exchanged info. Yo, the fatty and bottom tier nurse are a perfect match. Start dating and go out. When John said that, I remembered something, and I replied like this. Oh, is that okay? Then I'll date Brianna. Huh? Are you insane? What weirdo would willingly date this fatty? Well, Brianna is my former classmate. I realized when we exchanged contact info. Her icon is a childhood photo. What did you say? Brianna was my classmate when I was in elementary school. She transferred due to her parents' remarriage, and I haven't seen her since then. And she's changed a lot, and her last name is different, so I didn't notice. But that's right, I got sick after that and got fat. and my last name changed from Smith to Gardner. Sorry for saying rude things. And my attitude until earlier was really the worst. But you know, I'm glad I got to reunite with you, Brianna. Because back in elementary school, I had a crush on you the whole time. Well, I'm so happy to hear you say that. I got sick and fat and couldn't lose weight, so I lost confidence looking like this. It can't be helped if it's due to illness. By the way, you said your parents remarried. How's life been since then? Well, I get along with my dad, and I'm satisfied with my current life. I'm actually a nurse too, and I'm working at my dad's hospital. My dad is the director of the International Longevity Center, and he's busy being the president of the Medical Association too, it seems. What did you say? The director of the famous the International Longevity Center, known for an independent think tank. Oh, yes, but, John, you didn't know. No way. What have I done? I can't believe I said such rude things without realizing she was the daughter of that big hospital's director. Huh? What's this? She's actually a super rich girl. Doesn't look like it. She says she got fat from illness, but that's just an excuse, right? Fat people are fat because they don't control themselves. Anyone can get into the 60-pound range like me if they restrict what they eat. Don't, Madison. She's seriously the daughter of a big shot, and people can really get fat from illness. I got a thyroid disease and my metabolism dropped, so even with restricting I kept getting fatter. You don't seem to know such diseases exist, but there are all sorts of diseases in this world. And an adult woman in the 60-pound range is nearly sick, you know. Madison looked displeased being told that by Brianna. She was a magazine model with a slender figure, and she was pretty and popular with guys, so she thought she was superior. But she was probably pissed getting talked back to by the rich girl Brianna. Well, I myself never thought my classmate Brianna would become a rich girl either. Brianna was a girl who went to the same elementary school as me, and her original last name was Smith. I always really liked Brianna because she was so kind. When I got hurt during PE class, Brianna was the first to rush over to me. And since we lived close by, when I was absent with a cold, she also brought me printouts. Brianna was kind not only to people but animals too, and diligently took care of the rabbits we kept at school. When the rabbit died, Brianna was the one who made a grave for it. I liked her for her cute smile and kindness to everyone, but being shy, I spent time without conveying my feelings to her. And in 3rd grade, Brianna transferred due to her mother's remarriage. Brianna and my mom got along pretty well, so she said we should go to Disneyland as a final memory. And Brianna and I went to Disneyland to make memories. This is my first time at Disneyland. It's so big. And there's so many people. Yeah, I wonder if we can go around the whole thing. Probably not, but if there's something you want to ride, tell me. I'll ride it with you. But then you might not be able to ride what you want to, Steve. It's fine, as long as you can ride what you want, Brianna. So, what do you want to ride? Let's see, I want to ride this. The space one. Looks fun, then let's go. Brianna and I enjoyed Disneyland to our heart's content. And we had Brianna's mom take a photo of us at a photo spot. Part of the photo from then is Brianna's icon. I think I was probably standing on the right side, but maybe she cropped it, thinking people would ask about it if I was in it. I was happy she made it her icon. She must have really enjoyed that Disneyland day trip. Brianna's new father seems to be the director of the Coon General Hospital and simultaneously holds a position as the president of the Medical Association. Though I was totally unaware of such a fact, and I was so surprised. Moreover, it's a well-known cancer research institute in the US, and they even perform heart transplants. Not only John, who's a doctor, but anyone in healthcare knows of that hospital. Working there makes you a sort of elite. But I was curious why John didn't know Brianna's identity, so I asked. It turns out, John didn't find her himself, but was told there was an ugly girl named Brianna through an introduction, and maybe he should bring her. At that point he wasn't told Brianna's last name, and was told her address, but her address display name just said Brianna, so he didn't realize her identity. Brianna said after that, she got a thyroid disease and couldn't lose weight no matter what she did. I learned this studying nursing too, but with chronic thyroid and such, you can't lose weight. You either lose too much weight or gain too much, and you can't control it yourself. Despite that, Madison said that's just lack of control. She says if you restrict your diet like her, you absolutely won't gain weight, but not everyone can do that. You never know when someone will get sick, and I thought, how can she say such mean things? And she seems to be in the 60-pound range, but that's nearly an illness. If she's deliberately not eating to maintain that weight, it wouldn't be odd for her to develop a mental illness anytime. At our hospital, many patients come seeking medical intervention because they are no longer able to eat and have become skeletally thin. I thought she'll end up like that. Please forgive my rude attitude until now. I'll do anything. You don't need to apologize to me, but instead, could you apologize to Steve? Huh? A man being a nurse isn't bottom tier at all. We rely on male nurses for physical labor, and they say a job is a job. I understand. Steve, I'm sorry for what I said earlier. I was wrong. I figured he was just pretending to apologize, so I gave an appropriate reply. Then the group date ended, and we each went our separate ways. Madison's nasty personality was exposed, and she looked glum, being ignored by everyone. I decided to share a taxi with Brianna. It had started raining, and we had no umbrellas, so I figured we should ride together. Even though you're a rich girl, you don't have a private driver. You said you were caught in the traffic. Kinda unexpected. Because my dad is the big shot, not me. I'm just a regular person. And my dad said not to get the wrong idea. He said I shouldn't think I'm great too. But I was a bit arrogant earlier, saying my dad was the director and medical association president. No, I think that much is fine. But man, to think we'd meet at a group blind date. I'm sorry my attitude was bad at first. Geez, you already apologized for that, so it's fine. I'm the one who should apologize for becoming such a fatty. You know, the reason I made that photo my message icon is probably because I'm still attached to when I was slim and pretty and shining. I can make my current ugly appearance my icon. No way. You're not ugly at all. You're wonderful, Brianna. Thank you, Steve. And you know, I could never forget that day trip. It was so fun. When I went to Disneyland with you, I really didn't want to go home and wish time would stop. That's why I made that memory photo my icon. I've never been able to forget the time I went to Disneyland with you. I see. Thank you for thinking of it that way. I really enjoyed that trip too. As we talked about memories together, I started to feel nostalgic. It was a bit of a hot day, but we went around the park drenched in sweat and rode all sorts of rides. When I dropped my popcorn clumsily, Brianna shared half of her strawberry-flavored popcorn with me. I was about to burst into tears, and I fell in love with Brianna all over again. But I couldn't muster the courage, and couldn't tell Brianna I liked her. And she moved far away, but I wasn't told Brianna's new last name or address, so I couldn't send mails either. There's a reason I wasn't told her new last name or address. According to Brianna, she deliberately didn't want to say it because the separation was too painful. If she informed me of her new contact info, she would get letters from former classmates. Then she would want to go back to her old school, and thought she wouldn't be able to adjust to her new school. So she left without telling me anything. My other classmates were informed of the fact that she transferred after she left, so I was better off at least being able to go on a day trip. But if I had known her contact info, I might have conveyed my feelings in a message. Even Shyme could have somehow poured out my feelings in a letter. In the taxi, I quietly confessed to Brianna. Her face turned bright red, and she was so adorable. Until earlier I thought she was an ugly fatty, but looking closely, she had traces of her old self and was so pretty. She gained weight, and her eyes are like lines, but she originally had distinct double eyelids. If treatment goes well, maybe she can return to how she was. But I thought even if Brianna's appearance changed, my love for her wouldn't change. Thinking of Brianna still makes my heart race even now, and if possible I want to tie the knot like this. Starting as friends, former classmates, is fine, but I thought I could have a good married life with Brianna. As expected, Brianna hadn't changed at all, and after arriving at her house first in the taxi, she gave me an umbrella. She also lent me a towel. I live in an apartment, and I'd get a bit wet before climbing the stairs, so I accepted it gratefully. You don't need to return this. What? But I can't. This umbrella looks expensive. It's fine. I have a lot of umbrellas. I'm always losing them and buying new ones part way, 'cause I'm a klutz. But I'll come return it next time. Thanks for the towel too. And I returned to my apartment by taxi. It was pouring then, so having an umbrella when I got out really helped. She's truly a kind and considerate person. And as soon as I got inside, I sent Brianna a thank you message. Brianna said she wanted to see me again, so I thought we should have a meal together somewhere. So on my next day off, I went to eat with Brianna. Maybe because she was worried about gaining more weight, she ordered low-calorie menu items, but I told her I don't care about her body type, so she should eat what she likes. But Brianna said to restrict calories to get results from treatment. Then perhaps due to the success of her treatment, Brianna lost weight despite her illness. She seems to decide her own menu and make lunch every day and work out at home and became slim beyond recognition. The curvy parts are curvy and the tight parts are tight, the ideal body. She became so slim and curvy that people passing by hit on her apparently. Brianna laughed saying this was her first time experiencing this. I felt frustrated, like someone made a move on my girlfriend. Then after repeated dates, amazingly we got married 1 year later. The slimmed down, beautiful Brianna looks great in a pure white dress. Just like a princess I saw at Disneyland. John came to the wedding too. Since then, he had a change of heart and stopped putting people down. He started building a good relationship with me too. There's a reason he had a change of heart. John was hospitalized due to illness at one point. It's due to a doctor's unhealthy lifestyle. I doubted his schedule was always hectic, and he habitually ate fast food, resulting in consuming a nutritionally imbalanced diet. There, he was treated kindly by a male nurse and seemed to realize the value of nurses. He couldn't even go to the bathroom on his own it seems, but the one supporting him was a strong male nurse. So he thought after all, men are needed as nurses too. On the other hand, Mean Madison got sick from restricting her eating too much and truly became skeletally thin. Because of that, she's forced to live inconveniently, and men apparently stopped paying attention to her too. I don't want to use these words for someone who is sick, but I can't help but call it karma. Brianna is admirable for working as a nurse despite being sick. And even with her body shape warped from that illness, she's a hard worker deciding her own menu and working out to get back to how she was. I'm truly happy to have Brianna as my wife. No matter what happens from now on, I'll overcome trials together with my wife. With Brianna, I feel like nothing is scary.